All right, thank you for that brief pause. Hope you hung with us. And maybe my conversation with Callie led you to have a question of your own. If so, go ahead and type that into the chat while I welcome our next guest, Linda Evans. Linda, join me out here. So glad to pull you away from your red carpet celebrations to join me on the red carpet and talk about your book, Enlightened Weight Loss. And your book, Enlightened Weight Loss, Breaking Free from the Inner Trap of Endless Dieting. Linda, tell everyone about your book.
My book is, like it sounds, people who have been on endless diets. So women in particular who can do so many things in life and haven't been able to figure out why starting diets can happen, knowing what to eat, knowing how to exercise, and then something gets in the way. And this book is about how to find those blocks and how to break free from them.
Why did you decide to write this book?
I decided to write this book because I, my life long, have had thoughts and issues about dieting and what I should eat, obsession with food, coming from a family with food disorders and overweight. And I've also worked with lots of clients teaching personal awareness seminars, and many of the issues got resolved about blocks in life, sabotage, self-sabotage. And I noticed that one of the last things that would happen is that no matter how clear people got, there was still this issue with food and weight and this obsession. And so for me, I just thought this is the excellent way to help break free from all of our struggles by hitting the one that seems to hit so many of us.
How long had you thought about writing a book before you came to us?
Oh my gosh! When I was 5 years old, I always wrote
Mine's
poems. Seven. Okay, I was 5. I remember writing a poem, and just my whole life is I'm going to do computer science, and then I'm going to make money and figure out how to finally write my book. So, and I didn't even know. I just wanted to write. I just like poetry and writing, and so it's been my life long, really. Yeah.
So what was it now that made you say, it's been 4 or 5 months we've been working together, we've got your book out there on Amazon. By the way, you can see that link and download Enlightened Weight Loss, share it with a friend. What was it that got you to the point where you were able to stop wishing and get your book done?
Similar to Callie, I'm I don't remember exactly how, but I think I saw an ad. And it's right now there's a live event. Come check it out. And
it's probably us on the red
yeah,
carpet.
exactly. And I thought, wow. And I heard your energy, and I thought, this is what I need. I need support. And I just heard voice after voice of how, hey, I always wanted to write a book and it didn't happen. So I immediately applied, and it's just great. It's been great so far. Yeah.
Why do you think you were able to finish? Had you tried before? Why do you think you were able to finish?
Yeah, so my big thing is not knowing how to organize my thoughts well, because I have many, many things I could have written about. And so again, this difference process and the support of you and the team was incredible to follow a process and a strategy, which I knew I needed. Both I needed a commitment and a timeline to follow, but also the strategy. How do I find what I should write about, and how do I organize my thoughts around that? And so that was really, I was supported the whole way. And it was effortless, seeming now, looking back, but at the time, every piece of the way, we go through our breaking free from our,
yeah, right?
inner traps. Yeah.
That's always, that's what's so great about a weight loss book is it teaches you about weight loss, but it's also, did you tell me you had that experience where you were read your own book?
Yes.
Weight loss is a great metaphor for anything. Whatever's going on, you can apply it to that. So how did your book and the process of writing your book become a teacher for you?
Well, every step of the way, I ran into challenges I had no idea I would run into. It's just the littlest things oh no, I can't do that. Who am I to write this? I'm not organized. I can't do this. And every step of the way, it's awesome to be able to, on a Facebook group, to just say, hey, Angela, I'm freaking out here, and to just get support and do your own work, really. So how to do this.
I gave you homework.
You did, homework, and it was the same homework that's in my book. So
that's what I love about this story is so often the exact lesson that our authors present to me is the core message in their book, and I know the reason that they're not breaking through to get their book done is that they're not ready to serve their clients. Mm-hmm. So you get a book, but I think you also get that final breakthrough of oh wait, this is actually my lesson. I have to live it to give it.
Yes.
And I watch our authors step up and change their own lives so that they can be the person who their clients can't wait to work with.
Yes. Yeah, and you had a statement that was, you have to become the authority. So you become an author, but you have to first become the author before you can write your book. And the whole process makes us the authority of our lives. So we can be the people making the difference we want to make with our books.
I love it. So Marianne says that my brain starts to seize up when I think about all of the logistics and steps to get my manuscript done. How did you navigate your way through that?
Oh, exactly that. I can completely relate to that. And really, there are lessons, and there are weekly lessons. And sticking to the step in this lesson only was not only the plan, but it was encouraged. And if I got ahead of myself, that was the plan. And really, those small steps, like taking a small step, then got me past that. And then the next step was just right there. And so that was my challenge, to not look ahead and like, oh my God, how would I ever do that? And to really take the steps as they're given.
Do what is on this week's schedule.
Yes.
This is where I learned this, was from weight loss. Because every time that I approached weight loss with like, oh my God, I have 100 pounds to lose, it was so big, like I'm gonna be chopping vegetables for the rest of my life. Like it just felt so big and overwhelming. And when I started just like, how am I gonna feed myself for my next meal? Like, who do I wanna be for lunch? Like, how do I wanna feel I treated myself at lunch? And that's exactly like the way that the steps work in the difference process. They're all inspired by a weight loss process that I think is very much in what you teach in Enlightened Weight Loss.
Yes, that's exactly it. Taking a step back instead of it making this big overwhelming, oh, I have all this weight to lose, and not only do I have all this weight to lose, but I gotta really force myself to have willpower. And then
for the rest of my life.
For the rest of my life, right. And instead of taking a step back, how you're eating your food, enjoying the food, and just like, okay, I have this plan, I'm just gonna start with this step, this week, this day.
Yeah,
right.
That's what I love too about the title. Let's talk about how you came up with the title, because Enlightened Weight Loss also has this feeling of lightness, that weight loss doesn't have to be hard and heavy and strict and like Biggest Loser, mean someone's standing over your shoulder yelling at you. How did you come up with the title?
Coming up with the title was also a process of, figuring out what am I trying to say, and two things. The word light is exactly that. So there's a weight we carry that isn't the weight of our bodies alone. It's all of those crazy, stressful thoughts and all of these blocks. And also, it's shining a light on these things in a gentle way. So there's both of that, enlightening, shining a light on, and lightening yourself from this burden of your stresses around all the stories, really, that we've heard around weight and body and food. In some of us our whole lives, and others maybe later in life.
Maybe other lifetimes too.
Other lifetimes, forever and ever and ever. Exactly.
It feels that way.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, you can get a copy of Enlightened Weight Loss. Here it is. I'll have Linda hold that. Enlightened Weight Loss, Breaking Free from the Inner Trap of Endless Dieting. You can see the link to go to Amazon right now. Get your copy and copy that link and send it to a friend. Linda Evans, thanks for joining me on the red carpet.
Thank you, Angela.
Awesome.